Are we male or female because of our genitals and chromosomes? Or are our genitals and chromosomes just signs of our maleness and femaleness? I guess I'm trying to understand the larger question of what makes a male and a female a female. Is it something deeper than these outward characteristics that we use to see that we are male and female?
This is a great question.
I thought so too.
And I don't know that I can give some food for thought.
Yeah.
But I love it when I get a question I've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael, you win a prize today. I have never heard this question in 25 plus years of doing this work. Nobody has ever asked the question in that way.
Right.
But I think Michael, what you're getting at is related to the question of how are body and soul related.
Yeah.
And well, let me quote John Paul II. He says that the body is in some sense a sacrament of the soul, a making visible of what is invisible. So we do want to affirm this. Maleness and femaleness are not merely biological realities. John Paul II says this very clearly in Familiaris Consortio, section 11. He says, sexuality is by no means merely biological, but concerns the innermost being of the person as such. So it's also a spiritual reality. Life begins at the moment of conception. That's what I want to say. Life begins at the moment of conception. And there's not a this is what I want to say. There is not a pre-existing soul that gets infused into the body when the body is created by sperm and egg, right? There is one creative act of God. I know there's some more nuance to this that I don't even have the technical vocabulary myself to get into. But we cannot conclude otherwise. Body and soul profoundly united. Sexuality is not merely biological. Is this a chicken and egg kind of question? Well, it can't be a chicken and egg question in the sense that we don't have pre-existing souls. So, am I answering your question, Michael? I don't know.
I like that he threw in the word chromosomes there, because chromosomes are the collections of DNA within our cells. And we understand so far in our development of understanding DNA as so fundamental to the person that we talk about, having DNA testing or using it in forensics for crimes, but in other ways, like it's in our DNA.
Right,
we mean
right.
like it's the deep level of personhood.
Yes.
And so when he used that word, the chromosomes, it really connected in my mind with that. It's in our DNA, meaning it's so fundamentally human. And I think there you are talking about that, just as you've been saying. We can't separate body and soul of the humanity, but that there is a masculine or male soul in a male,
yes.
I think is accurate to say.
Yes, there's not a generic soul.
Yeah.
Why? Because the body is the sacrament of the soul. And if the body is male, the soul is male. Right? So here we talked about the beginning of life, and I know maybe some of my answer was a little confusing because I don't even have the technical vocabulary needed to describe it. But what I want to affirm is that maleness and femaleness is not something merely biological. There's not some generic human soul that gets zapped into a body that has male chromosomes and a body that has female chromosomes, right? We are male or female through and through, body and soul. So we talked about the beginning of life. This shines a light on the end of life too.
It does.
The rupture of body and soul is death. That's what death is. And death is entirely unnatural. The body, in the sense that the body and the soul were never meant to be ruptured, right? But because we experienced this rupture, my sister died last year. Her body is in the ground. I know her body is returning to dust. I have every reason to believe that her soul is experiencing some form of union with God, but that's not the final story. We believe, because Christ rose from the dead bodily, that we are also destined to rise bodily. And St. Thomas Aquinas says the souls in heaven are in an inhuman state, awaiting their human state, which will only come with the resurrection of the body. Right? The soul is not the person, St. Bonaventure said. The person is the union of the body and the soul. So important. So it's not like you have the spiritual person trapped in a body, right? The soul is not the human person. The human person is the unity of the body and the soul. I hope, Michael, that's given you some food for thought. I don't know that I can say much more about that because I don't have the vocabulary to do so, but I hope it got you thinking.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.